You heard it here. Justin is a Confederate sympathizer.
It's got a little blood in it. We don't know whose it is.
That's either profound or insane.
All the vintage racism. That's what killed the Tootsie Roll Pop Owl.
And imagine the drumsticks.
Sushi jackknife. 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 Sushi jackknife.
Child, it makes them stop.
Yeah, that's true. The more you yell at them,
Yeah.
the better disciplined they become, I think.
Yeah, I've kind of taken the harsh disciplinarian role where I just scream in my child's face anytime he does anything. Yeah, I think that's the way to go.
That's real cool.
It's good parenting.
It's great. You know what also is great? Now, I miss seeing you, right? But one benefit to not being in the same room is I can do the podcast in my pajamas. And
you could do it in your pajamas otherwise.
I know, but
I would just be judging.
Right. Well, see, that's the thing.
I mean, I'm judging you now, but it's from like a mile away, so.
Yeah, and that's fine. I have a thing about being in pajamas with other people. Like, okay, all right, so maybe we had to share a hotel room or something. That's fine.
Yeah.
You're going to see me in my PJs. Otherwise, you're never going to see me in my PJs.
What's weird is we shared a hotel room one time and you slept in a 3-piece suit.
I did, yeah.
That's not true. I'm a liar.
Standing up. To be fair, it was really cold.
You stood up in the corner of the room and went, well, I think I'm going to turn in. And then you just kind of tilted your head to the left and started snoring.
Yep, that's how I go to sleep. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Sushi Jackknife.
Yeah.
170.
Agreed.
170 of these.
That's so many.
Christ. I went back and listened to a really old one the other day. And it's funny because it was before the world was on fire.
Oh, you mean the before times?
Yeah, it was from the before times.
Yeah.
And, yeah, things just aren't the same anymore. That's all I have to say about it.
Yeah, it's, 2020 has been bad.
Real bad.
But I will say, for 2020, the last week has been very enjoyable for me.
Okay, do tell.
News-wise. All of the Rudy Giuliani news, it just warms the cockles of my heart.
Yeah.
I was saying this earlier this evening. If this election fiasco dragged out forever, but it meant that for the rest of time I got to witness Rudy Giuliani trying to be a lawyer, it might be a trade-off I'd make.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Did you see any of the stuff this week?
This might be a little old, but I heard about him. He was accidentally booked at
Oh, the Four Seasons Total Landscaping? Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay, so
That's the one.
2 days ago, I think maybe it was yesterday. Whenever you hear this, it was way before that. But
Yeah. We're recording this on the 20th, 11/20. Yeah.
He had a press conference where he said all sorts of crazy person things.
Right. As he does.
As he does.
Yep.
It's his thing.
Yeah.
It's his trademark.
Yeah.
Groucho Marx had his cigar. Rudy Giuliani has insane things to say.
No, that's
what he does.
That's right.
And he, in the middle of it, made a My Cousin Vinny reference for no particular reason.
Wait, really?
Oh, yeah. I watched part of this press conference.
Okay.
Because I'm like, okay, I'll hear him out. knowing full well there would be nothing to hear out.
Yeah.
So I even had to turn on Fox News to watch this. Because
wow.
it wasn't on anyone else. Because everyone else went, yeah, there's not going to be anything here.
We don't give a shit. We are over it.
So, in the middle of this press conference, he started sweating so much that whatever he had sprayed in his hair to make it look like he's not an old man with gray hair started dripping down the side of his face like a sad girl with a lot of mascara in a rom-com.
Oh, no. Oh. Rudy can fail. Yeah.
Yeah. And then on top of that, today, the story came out. So they had been citing for voter fraud evidence
Yeah.
these specific areas in Michigan where they had votes that were 3 times the population of that area. Which would be sketchy. That would be very sketchy.
Oh, yeah.
It turned out they were confusing Minnesota and Michigan in their legal briefing. In this affidavit from the security expert they had.
Oh,
It just got the states confused, no big deal.
Oh, my God. Oh, that's fantastic.
It's like the Onion has come to life.
Yeah, yeah.
And now the poor Onion is having to sit there going, I don't know what we're going to write. They're already doing all of it. We can't be a legit news source. Ugh.
Fantastic. Wow. That's so great. I didn't see the thing with the color running out of his hair. I didn't see that.
Oh, man. You need to look it up. Because there's nothing better than a crazy person. Like, obviously, the pictures that people took were pictures taken at his most frantic looking.
Yeah, right. Right.
But they're so good. They're just so good.
Man.
And the best part is knowing how obsessed with the impression people have of him that Donald Trump is.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
The thing that made him the maddest wasn't the fact that everyone looked at the evidence and went, ugh, that's ridiculous. It was that his lawyer looked like his hair was melting.
Oh, man. We haven't spoken on the show since the election, though.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
The election that lasted a week, it seemed
Yeah.
like.
Yeah.
Maybe. Wait, yeah, it was definitely almost a week, wasn't it?
It was Saturday that they finally
Yeah.
called it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it was. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So I spent the entire week of the election, flipping back and forth between reputable news sources and Fox News. Because I don't know if you were paying attention, but Fox News was one of the first 2 sources to call the state of Arizona.
I did see that, yeah.
They called it election night.
And they called it for Biden, right?
They called it for Biden.
Yeah.
So I was flipping back and forth going, well, I don't know how they're going to weasel their way out of this one. They accidentally called it for him.
They did. They way ahead of everybody else. Yeah.
The CNN didn't call it until 30 minutes before they called the full election on Saturday.
Right. Yep. Right. I will say I was watching the AP thing on the NPR website, and they called it pretty damn early too. Actually, not that early, but yeah.
Yeah, Fox News and the AP were right on top of it. They're like, we're going to call something.
That's so interesting.
We gathered all these people up to analyze this. Someone is going to call a state, and someone's going to call it now.
Yeah. No, and man, I mean, so many interesting things happened that night. I remember being super pissed off Wednesday morning, maybe, because I was like, what the fuck is going on? Do we Was it Wednesday morning, or it might have been yeah, it was because it was still in the air a little bit. You know, it was like, and I was just like, God damn it! If we, as a country, reelect this asshole, then I'm done. I'm fucking done with humans. You know what I mean? Like,
well, to be fair, everything would be done at that point.
Well, yeah, true.
It's not just you; it's society, the human race.
Yeah, no more frozen
everything.
Yogurt. It's all gone.
Yeah.
But
those are the big three right there.
You know, and I don't want to. I'm not giving anybody a pass on voting for him the first time. However, though, if you voted for him the first time thinking, well, this is something different. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, you can't make that argument anymore. Now you know what can happen. You know what I mean?
This is true.
And so if you vote for him again, I'm fucking over it. You know what I mean? Like, I'll give you a shot now since we're not facing that future. but my forgiveness is running out, you know? I
was just enjoying the large amounts of hypocrisy throughout the entire political spectrum.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You had all of the Republicans who, when there was a recount in the 2016 election, were going, "You're just being sore losers," blah, that are still clinging on to it, even though it's insane at this point.
Yes.
And you had the and admittedly, this is not actual Democrat officials, just random people who were Democrats, who were saying around, going, "Well, the Electoral College, we've got to figure out a way to flip the votes in the Electoral College in 2016."
Yeah,
now, if anyone in the Republican Party says the same thing, they're like, "You lost." Meh.
Yeah. Well, absolutely. Yeah.
Everyone has a 2-month attention span, so 4 years ago seems like a long time.
Right. Right. I mean, there are still plenty of things that need fixing, that's for sure. Gerrymandering would be one. That'd be a good one to fix.
Nah. I don't think so.
That could be so much more simple, too. You know, it's like, okay, you people live in this square. Mm-hmm. You're a district. Now you people live in this square. Now you're a district.
So I have a new voting theory. I think this should be the rule.
Yeah.
I think we should gerrymander more. Hear me out.
Okay. All right. I'm waiting.
Gerrymander, like, so intricately that each individual human being is their own district. Right?
Wow. Okay.
And then, for important elections or whatever, we just take whoever won the most districts.
Oh.
See, this is my sneaky way. This is my sneaky way of getting popular vote in.
Yeah, I was starting to follow you there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, that is what it should be, I think.
Just ultra gerrymander it.
Yeah, well, yeah, right. That's
also, that means I get to vote for my own representative.
Yeah.
In the House of Representatives, which, oh man, Kanye's looking for something to do, so that would be fun.
Wouldn't that be cool? Which it is fair to say that 2016, I don't remember how much Trump won the electoral. I don't. It wasn't.
It was. He had. Was it 306?
Yeah. It was plenty. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was plenty. Though he lost the popular vote.
Oh yeah, significantly.
This time, however, it was nice because Biden got both. He got...
Well, that's what happens when a Democrat wins the Electoral College. Because they're going to win the popular vote.
That's a good point. Yeah, that's right. That's a good point because of the way the numbers break down.
I mean, you know when the last time was a Republican won the popular vote, right?
Reagan, right?
Well, I believe... I think W did on his second election.
Gotcha.
But then before that, it was his dad.
Oh, George W. Okay, yeah, I could see that.
So
okay.
Democrats have won the popular vote in 2020, 2016, 2012, 2008, 2000, 96, 92.
Wow.
Uh-huh.
So there's something wrong with that.
I understand the logic that was initially used for the Electoral College.
I have forgotten it, so please.
The logic is for rural farm voters at the time, people who were not in Boston or Philadelphia.
Right, or New York, yeah.
Yeah, pretty much those three, and that's it.
Yeah, that was...
Not to get overrun by people who were taking control of the entire country.
Sure, yeah, sure.
However, that was before we started adding vast wastelands to the country. Montana, the Dakotas, places like that. And now, if you live in North Dakota, your vote technically counts more than if you live in California.
Right, which doesn't make any sense. It's about like weighting almost, like yeah. Your vote is weighted more. Yeah. It doesn't make any sense at all. 0 sense. Therefore, let's be done with it. I mean, well, here's the thing. I'm understanding that the future, really, if all the projected trends are correct, we're going to become a much more urban culture anyway. Like,
probably, yes.
Fewer and fewer people will live in rural areas.
Yeah.
A large part due to opportunity. There's just going to be less and less opportunity in rural areas going forward. And, farming is done more efficiently. We don't need as much devoted to it, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So, I don't know. It's only going to make sense if most people, are living in cities. How did this turn into like a social studies class?
I think what we should do is the people who don't want to vote for, the lunatic QAnon people,
right? Yep.
Should all move to Florida.
Yeah, and just flip Florida? Is that what you're saying? Yeah.
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 Like, if we could just talk a good 150,000 people into moving from New York to Florida.
Yeah.
I get to pick them.
Of course you do.
There's no state income tax in Florida. That's a good selling point.
Hey, we know what that's like. Beaches are good.
Meth is easy to get.
Seafood. Who doesn't love seafood?
Yeah, I feel like we just glossed over the meth thing though and moved on to seafood.
Well, yeah. The meth is there, but it's not. You don't put it in the brochure.
I mean, in Florida, you might. Florida. It's a mess.
My memories of going on vacation in Florida always involved stopping at one of the roads, the highway, visitor centers.
Yeah.
And getting a little shot of orange juice and or grapefruit juice made right there in Florida.
Uh-huh, sure.
So instead of that...
I'm sure it was.
Yeah, right. Made in Florida, shipped from California. Yeah.
Made in Florida from concentrate. We mixed it up in the back room before we brought it out. Don't worry. It still counts as made in Florida.
It's got a little blood in it. We don't know whose it is.
Welcome to Florida.
If you work at that visitor center, you scoop rats out of that every morning. Anyway, instead of that, my joke was, maybe they should just give you a little meth at the border.
Yeah.
In a little cup. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you drive across the border to Florida. They hand you some sort of illegal narcotic.
Yes.
A handgun, and then just a brochure of when you're allowed to use your handgun. And by brochure, I mean it's a folded up piece of paper that you open it up and it just says anytime.
Go crazy.
Whenever. Laws. Meh.
Great for shooting crabs. Wow.
I mean, it's Florida. So if we could get 150,000 New Yorkers, they've got people to spare.
Sure.
Maybe some from California. You know, those states that on election night, they're like, okay, the polls are closing in 3, 2, 1, and we're calling California for...
Yes, exactly. Right.
Get people from those states to just move to Florida. We could use a few more in Georgia.
Yeah,
some
Georgia.
North Carolina.
Yeah. Yeah, well, yeah, it surprised me. A couple things. One, now, I'm not as familiar with the entire state of North Carolina, but I guess I've only been to the fun liberal parts of North Carolina. So my impression...
Oh, yeah, there's other parts of North Carolina than that.
Fair enough. My impression of North Carolina is bluer than it actually turns out it is.
Oh, yeah.
Now, however, I'm from Georgia, and seeing it change colors was wild. That was wild. And yeah, it was close, no doubt. But still, it's I never thought I'd see that in my lifetime, to be honest with you.
It's Atlanta.
It's Atlanta. Yeah. Atlanta is a big
great
deal.
place for people to live. Anyone listening in New York?
You know what? It's warm. It's not. You're not going to get snowed on. I mean, maybe a little, but you'll laugh at it. You'll think it's hilarious.
New York rap is over, but Atlanta, the Atlanta hip hop scene is thriving.
Yeah, it's
so.
Yeah,
you want to go experience that? They have the Trap Music Hall of Fame there.
Do they really?
Oh yeah.
Is that real?
That's real.
Oh, that's fantastic. I'm also told that Atlanta is where the Players play, Nathan.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah.
That's what I've heard about Atlanta. The Players do play there. So if you are a player and you like to play, move from California or New York.
Multiple Krispy Kreme donuts places open all night. You got little 5 Points, crazy little spot. It's awesome. Little it's your Brooklyn, I guess.
If you're in New York, wouldn't you like to go to a place that had good biscuits?
Oh yeah, think about those biscuits.
They've got biscuits in Atlanta. They don't have biscuits in New York. Where are you getting a biscuit in New York?
Ugh, can't even imagine what a biscuit up there would be like. Wrong.
It would just be a hard hunk of bread.
You know, arguably biscuits is like kind of why the South didn't win the Confederate. I mean, they didn't win the Civil War.
Because they started eating biscuits and went, I'd much rather eat these than fight in the war.
Well, at least, I don't know if this is actually true, but at least the way my Georgia public school education taught me.
Oh, then it's not true.
Yeah. A big factor was that the Northerners had better food. Like I was not in the Confederacy. The South.
You heard it here. Justin is a Confederate sympathizer.
Oh boy. The South had like biscuits and bacon, right? Which would go bad.
We still have.
Yeah. That's right. And the North would have hardtack, which was apparently horrible, but it didn't go bad so much.
It didn't go bad, and I believe it was chock full of nutrients.
Oh, is that right?
I believe I've heard that.
It was like an 1800s power bar. This thing. Yeah.
And just as difficult to eat.
Yeah, power bars.
You just chew those things for a day before you finally are able to swallow it. It's just constant chewing.
That's what killed the Tootsie Roll Pop Owl. You know that? Someone gave him a power bar. He fucking choked to death.
He can crunch through a Tootsie Pop,
No problem.
Can't make it through a power bar. Can't do it.
The kids gave it to him. They came back a week later, and it was just his owl corpse.
Oh,
Yep.
this got sad.
Yeah. I like talking about dead cartoon characters. I don't know why.
What's your favorite dead cartoon character?
My favorite dead cartoon character. Huh.
Yeah.
That's a great question. I don't know if I have
You know what's a
favorite.
disturbing one?
Yeah.
It's not one that you have to imagine being dead, because they're already dead.
Okay.
Casper the Friendly Ghost?
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's a cartoon about a dead kid.
Yeah.
That's what that's about.
A dead kid. A lot of those, I forget what company made Casper, but they also made like Huey the Big Giant Duck Baby or whatever, and that was disturbing as well.
Yeah, that doesn't sound great.
Yeah, they had this weird bent to them, that particular cartoon house.
It sounds like drugs were at play.
Yeah.
Or either drugs or they were just huge procrastinators. And when they had to present a new cartoon, it was just like, 12-year-old kid dies?
Hey, love it.
He's friendly.
That Casper movie with Bill Pullman and Christina Ricci.
Oh, I did not care for that.
Oh, it made me sad, though. It did make me sad.
It was a wildly unpleasant movie.
It was kind of bizarre, wasn't it?
Yeah. Never was a fan of it.
I watched that junk over and over, though. I've seen it a bunch of times.
Yeah. That's probably Bill Pullman's finest work.
Yeah, that and the speech from Independence Day was pretty great.
Yeah, but I mean, the rest of Independence Day was...
You know what? I can't shit on that movie. I remember...
Oh, I'm not saying anything bad about the movie. I'm saying
Okay.
bad things about Bill Pullman.
Oh, well, okay, fair enough. Fair enough. I'll never forget Will Smith saying, "What are you doing shooting that green shit at me?" And Jeff Goldblum saving the world because he knows computers, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds right.
Yeah.
Will Smith, he had a weird career trajectory there.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Like, I'm the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, then I'm going to do 2 huge movies about aliens.
What was the other one?
Men in Black.
Oh, of course. Yeah. Men in Black.
2
Right.
huge movies about aliens.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that will allow me to rule the world.
I think he's, I would not be surprised if he's a weird guy.
Oh, he's definitely a weird guy.
Right? Like, he's got to be a weird guy.
There's no way he's not a weird guy.
He comes
have you-
off, you know.
Have you ever experienced Jaden Smith?
Yes, a little bit. Yeah. Yeah.
The things that Jaden Smith says, you're like, that's either profound or insane.
Right.
It's walking the line right there.
And I don't know which one.
Will Smith raised that.
Yeah, it's a good point. It's a good point there,
That
Nathan.
came from Will Smith.
You're right.
50% of that is attributed to him.
I can't make an argument. His public persona, Will, is so strong though. Like he's oh my god, as a rapper and then on Fresh Prince, he was such a likable fucking guy. Mm-hmm. Like it just immensely likable. And but long enough in Hollywood will make anybody weird.
Yeah,
That's my theory. That's my theory.
No, that's definitely... I don't know that I can name anyone who has been an actor for a long time that I don't think is weird.
Tom Hanks.
I think he's still weird.
You do?
He's pretentious weird.
Yeah. Okay.
He collects typewriters.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
That's not
great.
a normal human thing to collect. Like, you might have a typewriter. He has typewriters. A whole collection of typewriters. You have to be a little weird to go, I want all the typewriters.
I mean, look at it this way. You can only use one at a time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe 2 if you If you get good at one-handed typing. Yeah.
Yeah, 2 hands. Yeah, like a piano.
Yeah.
There's Tom again. Where's Daddy? Oh, he's just typing away down there.
Or, he's out shopping for another typewriter. He only has 150 of them. He needs 151.
It is one of those things, if you're going to collect it, like, you have to have some space, right? And probably some heavy-duty shelving, I would imagine.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, those are heavy. Yeah.
So, even if I were given a collection of typewriters, the work that would go in to having a typewriter collection and displaying said collection, not worth it.
Like, I wonder if he has a guy.
He has a typewriter guy?
A typewriter guy that just services all of his typewriters.
Well, you'd have to if you want them to work. I mean, like, they're old typewriters.
Yeah, like, I work for a place that has a bunch of, historic instruments. We have a guy that all he does is take, I mean, I'm not diminishing what he does, but he just takes them out and plays them and says, all right, and tunes them and puts them back away again.
It's a pretty sweet gig.
Pretty sweet gig. But so you got to have a guy like that. You got to have a typewriter guy.
A guy that just comes, puts a piece of paper in.
Yeah.
Spins the wheel, and just... All right, that one's good.
Well, unless Tom has some weird requirement that he's got to, like, write a page of Moby Dick sequentially on each typewriter or something like that. Like,
see? Now we're back to him being a weirdo.
Yep, no, you're right. You're right.
Ooh, I was thinking this month, if you wanted to do, The Art of War, just start typing The Art of War on each typewriter. That would make me happy. So go ahead and do that.
All right. Okay.
I'm going to be looking through my Ascot collection. He probably has an Ascot collection.
Yeah. And then once he chooses a proper Ascot, he comes and checks on Leon, and just sits back in an armchair, sipping a brandy, while Leon just types away.
Well, he probably reads what he typed.
Oh.
And then points out any typo that happened.
Are you saying that what Tom Hanks really likes to do is role play like 1940s editor?
Yeah. Yeah, he likes to copy edit people.
Makes the guy get out a bottle of Whiteout and nope, not good enough. Do it again.
Do it again.
And so now I'm thinking he just has like a harem of, vintage dressed ladies that are typing for him.
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me.
Right? Like he's just got a whole little office pool going. Helps him sleep. The sound comes through the floor. His bedroom is above the typewriter room, naturally.
We may have the era wrong because I'm also picturing this. I feel like it could be a Mad Men type of scene.
Yeah, 60s kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He probably has a storage closet of cartons of cigarettes and whiskey.
Yes.
Or, as it was known back then, work supplies.
Boy, what a time to have been a man working in a situation like that. How fucking great was your life? Like, you go to work and you're just drunk all day.
Yeah.
You're drunk, you go out to lunch, you eat a steak.
That's why Trump won election the first time. A bunch of white dudes are like, hey, I saw Mad Men.
That was great.
I think I could deal with that. That seems okay.
There you go.
What, you mean the dames aren't allowed to work up here? Perfect.
The dames. That's so good. I love it.
A bunch of people probably wanted to bring back the word gams, too.
Oh, gams.
Check out the gams on her. Gams.
So, I like reading like detective stories sometimes, right?
Oh, yeah.
One of the most fun things about those stories is all the vintage racism. It's like words you've never even heard of for African Americans and Jews, and
they're always so casually thrown in there too.
oh yeah, it's just so entertaining, Nathan. It's like
just a random aside where you're
Right.
like, huh. Well, okay then. Disclaimer:
Yeah.
We here at Sushi Jackknife do not support this. However, we do support laughing at it.
exactly. Thank you, legal team, for jumping in there. No,
You don't want to get canceled.
we're much more interested in white people racial slurs,
Yeah,
as you might recall from many, many, many episodes ago.
I'm still just salty that there's not a good one.
Well, the reason there's not a good one,
Is we control them. I understand.
right? That's the reason why.
As a white male, I get to control the racial slurs.
Correct.
But, I mean, it seems fair that we should have allowed one good one.
Yeah, well, I mean, naturally, to let it slip through, you know. I mean, there's demand for it, I think. You know?
I'm demanding it. You know what? 2024, I'm running for
2020?
president.
Wow.
And my campaign, one of the first things we're going to do is put together a commission to come up with appropriate white slurs for people to use. I want to be offended by them. I want people to be brought to tears by them.
Yes.
I think it's time in this country that we allowed everyone to be offended equally.
I like it. Can I be on the committee? Yay!
I don't know.
No.
I feel like you're too close to the subject.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
It's gonna have to be a bunch of non-white people.
You're right. Yeah. So, how silly of
Preferably
me.
people who are angry
Yeah.
at us for obvious reasons.
It's a really pissed off, racially diverse group
Yeah.
is what we need. Yeah. I like it.
Yeah. I mean, I think probably spearheading it, I put Louis Farrakhan in.
Yeah. No, he's definitely in there. Absolutely.
Like, he would be the leader.
Can I design the monument we're going to put in DC with all the slurs on it?
You can, but I already have a design in mind. It would be a white person in the fetal position
Okay.
with tears streaming down his face.
Oh, and can it be animatronic? Can we have the only animatronic marble sculpture in DC? Yay!
And there's a speaker off to the side so you can hear all the time.
And it plays It's Been a While. Why not?
I think that I would get at least 20 votes just with that idea.
Well, yeah, I think so. Why not? Well, you have to move back to Kansas, though, to get your grassroots going. Or just go to East Tennessee.
That's true. Have I told you, I don't know if I've mentioned it on the podcast or not, my theory for how I could get Republicans to be pro-life?
I remember
Or pro-choice,
this
pro-choice, not pro-life. Yeah.
I remember this conversation, but it's been a while.
So I have a theory, and I don't think anyone can prove me wrong on this, that Republican voters specifically just like loud people yelling about the government.
Right.
That's their main thing they like.
Yeah.
So if you got a loud person with a thick Southern accent
Hey.
to start going, well, I just don't understand why the government thinks that they can control what we do with our bodies. You'd get them going, yeah, that is a good point.
Yeah, you can really get them riled up that way.
Foghorn Leghorn up there has some ideas.
Now, that's a cartoon character I wouldn't mind seeing dead. Namely, because he would be delicious.
That's true. And imagine the drumsticks.
Oh God, he's so out of proportion. It's hilarious. He looks like when they were coming up with him, they actually just bought like a real turkey from the store and sort of based his look on that.
Yeah.
Foghorn might be one of my favorite Looney Tunes, no doubt.
Really?
I say. Yeah.
That is a strange stance to take.
Well,
Favorite?
among my favorite.
Like top 5?
Okay, all right. Well, let's break this down.
Okay.
Obviously Bugs Bunny,
Yeah.
the best, the greatest Looney Tune.
Yeah, anyone who comes up with a top Looney Tunes list that doesn't have Bugs Bunny at the top, or at least top 3,
Gotta be.
is kidding themselves.
Yeah, Daffy Duck. I love Daffy Duck.
Okay.
Daffy Duck's an asshole, but
They kind of all are.
they
really.
really all are. Yeah,
Except for Tweety.
well, Tweety's a sadistic motherfucker.
That's true. That is true.
Tweety is.
Porky's not.
Porky's not so bad.
No. But
Porky's
also he's
usually
not in the top 5.
No, he's not. Porky's usually a victim.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would say I love Sylvester the cat.
Okay.
I can do a decent Sylvester sometimes.
Sometimes.
Get the bird, Thun. Get the bird. You're a cat. He's a bird. You can't be friends. You have to get the bird. Yeah. It should be spittier than that, but
Yeah, you weren't spitting nearly enough.
Daffy.
You need to, when you do it, be at danger of infecting anyone near you with COVID. Because you have full spit particles flying at them.
Right. Daffy and Sylvester are kind of close.
Yeah.
Like, vocally. Yeah.
Yeah, they kind of phoned it in on one of the two of them.
Yeah.
Whichever one was second, they went, just kind of the same thing, but more cat.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I got it. Yeah. I know what you mean.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, I think who would be fourth for me? Maybe. I feel like Foghorn is fifth. That's how I feel. Yosemite Sam drops pretty low because he's a real. You want to talk about a Trump supporter?
Oh man, I'm really surprised he didn't get named to a cabinet position.
I quite like Marvin the Martian, but I can't put him up at the top.
Mm-hmm.
That's ridiculous. Mm-hmm. That's completely ridiculous.
Now, is it racist if you were to put Speedy Gonzalez at the top?
Oh boy, yeah, I think it is.
I mean, I'm not. He's not one of my favorites. I'm just.
No.
If you were, it seems problematic.
Interesting thing, and I don't know the details on this, but I've been to more than one Mexican restaurant in my life that had a lunch special called the Speedy Gonzalez.
What is it?
It's a quick lunch. It's usually like 2 tacos, rice and beans.
Huh.
And it's cheap. It's like $5 or something.
Okay.
Yeah. And you're in, you're out. You eat that fast, and then you're back in action.
I feel like there's a good chance that the people who are offended by Speedy Gonzalez, it falls into that group where it's white people being offended on behalf of other people.
Yeah,
more
that
than
might be
the
it.
people being offended by it.
Right. That could be the case. Yeah. Yep.
I don't know.
That could be it. I don't know either. Who knows?
I have no strong opinions on Speedy Gonzalez.
Me neither. I don't need him. He's unnecessary.
Right.
Who else, Nathan? Tweety is not up there for me. Again, Tweety is a sadistic fuck.
Yeah. You know what was always very underrated to me in the Looney Tunes world? Do you remember the Sam and Ralph cartoons?
Oh, wait. Are they the ones who are like...
It's like a sheepdog and a wolf. And they, at the beginning of every one of their cartoons, they had a few, they came in, they used the old-timey clock-in clock, because they're clocking into work, greeted each other, and then the entire cartoon is Sam keeping Ralph from getting the sheep.
Yes.
And then they clock back out.
Yes, I remember. I never knew their names.
Yeah.
But okay.
Yeah. Morning, Sam. Morning, Ralph.
Oh, that's right, Nathan. You're so good. That's so... Yeah.
That was an underrated one.
You're right. You're right.
I don't know
Who
that I'm
are
putting them in the top 5, but I enjoyed those cartoons.
Sam and Ralph. Who
Yeah.
knew? Jeez. Who are your favorites?
Man.
Obviously, Bugs Bunny.
Yeah. I don't know. It's a steep drop off from Bugs Bunny.
It really is. It's true. Though I do like Sylvester. I don't know what it is about old Sylvester, but he's holding on for me.
Pretty much every cartoon that they put out, the old ones, they've rebooted them several times, and it's gotten weirder.
Yeah, it has gotten weirder.
Because it was very formulaic as a child.
Absolutely. Yes.
Every cartoon was, hey, I'm going to kill that thing, and then the thing they try to kill doesn't allow that to happen.
That's it.
That's the end of the cartoon.
Yep, that's pretty much it.
It's weird how many old-timey cartoons revolved around something trying to kill another thing.
You can get a lot of mileage out of that.
Yeah. And it wasn't even just them. Like Tom and Jerry.
Oh, yeah. Same
thing.
Yep.
Everyone, if you mention Tom and Jerry, no one thinks about the fact that Jerry was just trying to eat him. Like, that's it.
That was the whole thing. Yeah.
He wanted to murder him and then eat his body.
That's it.
That's it.
Yep. And sometimes they were pals, strangely. Yeah.
That didn't make a lot of sense.
No.
You can't have friendly rivalry with a person who's just dead set on murdering you.
Yep. And occasionally, to shake it up, it is impossible. And occasionally, to shake it up, they'd let the dog be in the cartoon.
Yeah.
Remember the dog?
Yeah. I don't... That
Butch,
one...
I think it is. Butch,
yeah, that one
maybe?
always just got confusing. Like, why is the dog only around sometimes? Is that an indoor-outdoor dog, and half the time it's outside?
He's a sometimes dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, why did the people in Tom and Jerry never set a mouse trap?
Truth.
They've got a mouse running around their house all the time.
On 2 legs, no less.
Yeah. I mean, literally running, like a sprinter across the floor.
Right.
And they're just like, there's a giant hole in our wall. I wonder what that's from. Anyway.
I gotta say, I feel like anyone who watches Looney Tunes and old Hanna-Barbera cartoons and stuff, you gain something from it. There's a lot of like cultural references I know from another time that I only know because I watched Bugs Bunny.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
so as a father, I was a little bit horrified when like a month ago, I went to go turn on cartoons, and it dawned on me that they don't show the original Looney Tunes on TV anymore.
wow.
Like, it's just not on anymore. They weren't new when I was a kid.
No, they've been out for, what, decades?
And they were
right?
showing
Like,
them, yeah.
Yeah.
But now they're too violent and offensive, and no one likes them.
I mean, that's why I like them.
It makes me sad.
Yeah.
Like, how
It
will my
does.
child know that if you had an anvil, it would be dangerous to drop that on a person? He won't learn that lesson.
Also, the Acme Company literally makes anything you might need.
Literally anything, as long as you want it to fail. I think that was Wile E. Coyote's biggest problem.
Yeah, he never ordered from anyone else.
Well, yeah, see, if he were doing the cartoons now, he could get on Amazon, check out the Amazon reviews of all these products.
Oh, yes.
Acme Slingshot, 2 stars, would not recommend. Okay, now I know I won't try that.
I don't know if the Warner Brothers folks are listening, but you just pitched a great idea for an episode of Roadrunner, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he gets online, he figures out the issue is it would be the last episode.
Oh, right.
Because he would find the product
successful.
that actually works and then kill the Roadrunner.
Yeah, and that's it.
And then there's
Done.
no more Roadrunner.
Done forever.
Unless, as he's flying through the air... Okay, hear me out. Gets the name brand slingshot catapult thing.
Right.
Instead of the Acme one. And it's going to work. He has launched himself into the air, flying like a projectile towards the Roadrunner, where he is certain to catch them. But midway through, he has an existential crisis.
Oh, okay.
The Coyote goes, without the Roadrunner, really what is my purpose?
Yes.
I don't think I have a purpose. Is my purpose essentially to fail at the thing that I'm doing my entire life so that I continue to have something to search for? If I succeed, will I lose my drive and my fire? What am I doing? And during his existential crisis, he gets so distracted that he doesn't catch the Roadrunner, but he instead just falls to the ground and watches him run away. A single tear streams down his face. End scene.
End scene. Wow. Nathan, very good. Wow, that was poetry, my friend.
Just a full-on Wile E. Coyote existential crisis.
I love that.
He had... I mean, it's coming. Because if he had caught the Roadrunner, he would have been out there in the desert with nothing to do. No one to chase.
Yeah, literally nothing going on.
Nothing in life. And the Acme company would lose their number one buyer. Because he would have no reason to buy them.
That's another episode right there, is as a thank you for pouring every cent he's ever made into their products. Mm-hmm. The Acme company comes out to visit him in the desert.
Where did he get money for all these products?
That's a great question.
Was he racking up credit card debt?
I think so, yeah.
Ooh, boy.
It's a sad story. Actually, every night when he goes home hungry and tired and beaten up, mm-hmm. he just pulls up his bill and sinks further and further into a deep, deep, dark depression.
That's another episode when the credit card company comes to collect.
Oh.
They send a collections agent out to him, and they just serve him paperwork.
That's it.
It's not an entertaining episode, but it's very informative.
It's 4.5 minutes of the roll of credit card bill just rolling itself out mm-hmm. all throughout the desert.
Yeah. It's a cartoon with a moral. The moral is do not spend what you don't have.
Let compound interest work for you, not against you.
See, I'm all for educational TV, and that's
thinking
educational.
We found our true calling, Nathan. we just need to sit around and come up with ideas for Looney Tunes episodes that no one's thought of yet.
Oh man, there are so many. Like what if Elmer was hunting Bugs Bunny and realized he'd never really had rabbit meat to begin with, but he kind of thinks it would be gamey. Maybe he goes vegan. Maybe he's not even interested in hunting a rabbit anymore.
Check this out. In the progress of their hunt, Elmer comes across a quickly erected fancy restaurant, mm-hmm. which of course Bugs Bunny is putting on. Right. He sits down and Bugs serves him actual
with a big
rabbit
fake
meat
mustache.
Yes, of course, yes, and the towel and the sort of classic waiter outfit. Yeah, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And Bugs serves him real rabbit meat from one of his friends that he murdered.
Right, he murdered him so he could get out of this whole rigmarole. He's tired.
Just to teach old Elmer a lesson about what rabbits really taste like. Mm-hmm.
And it turns out he's not a big fan, though he does still like duck. So Daffy is in trouble.
Well, duck is delicious.
Duck is amazing.
Let's be honest.
Rabbit, but duck.
That's fine.
That's
duck. The one I watched most recently was there's the Chicken Hawks. Remember the Chicken Hawks?
Oh yeah.
The dad and the little kid Chicken Hawk. And Daffy is broke and enters a contest for like the best rooster. And so he turns himself into a rooster.
Of course.
You know, and enters the contest only to be swept away by the child Chicken Hawk who takes him back to his dad.
What does Daffy need money for? He's a duck. There's no reason for him to have money.
Every time he's pictured with clothes on, though, he's always got like a shoddy hat and coat.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
He's a poor duck.
He's a poor duck. He's a down on his luck duck.
He could just get a job. You know, pull himself up by the bootstraps. Come on.
I mean, clearly Daffy has a personality disorder, though.
Well, like, that's true.
Let's be honest.
That's true. He would not last in an office environment for sure.
Not for long. No.
Just imagine if he's working in an office and his boss came to question the numbers that he had done. You know, just the numbers. Wherever he's working, there are numbers. He would not take it well. It would end poorly with him in HR. There's another episode. Daffy Duck works in an office, has to go to HR.
And it turns out that Bugs is like the president of the company or something.
Of course.
And Elmer would be the HR rep, naturally. Porky would be his friend in the office. It's like, dude, you've got to chill out.
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to last here.
What? She's a nice woman. Stop yelling at her.
We all like Janice. Calm down. Biddy.
Janice brings us cookies.
The lady.
Yeah, I think we essentially could come up with a full season.
I think we could.
Of Looney Tunes episodes that no one would want to watch.
I'm not so sure.
I would want to.
I would want to. I think we could take it to some interesting places.
I mean, Warner Brothers, if you're looking for a reboot.
Yeah. No, you just did one, but hey, we're open.
But they did it wrong.
Yeah. Of course they did.
So, I was just watching before this the reboot of Animaniacs.
I heard that was coming. I haven't seen it,
which makes me very happy because that was one of my favorites.
Oh, that was a great one.
Oh, so good.
Yep.
I feel like they're the only ones that haven't wildly messed up so far when they reboot. Like, they didn't try to change everything.
Good. That's good.
The Looney Tunes, they tried to take out some violence and stuff. You need the violence. It's kind of all you had.
It's what it is. Yeah, no.
That was the whole thing.
That was the whole point. That's why we love it.
People didn't care about the characters. They wanted to see the characters get shot in the face and then their duck bill spins around their head.
There's a great show. I've probably mentioned it before that Holden watches, which is basically a Looney Tunes for now. It's called Zig and Shark.
Zig and Shark?
Zig and Shark. I think it's Australian or something. Basically, okay, stay with me, Nathan. It's a complex plot.
It sounds like it.
Yeah, so Zig is some kind of animal. It's hard to tell what he is.
He's Australian. They don't have real animals there. They're all mythical beasts. Yeah.
Exactly. It's some sort of fantasy animal. But he looks a bit like a mangy dog with big teeth.
Okay.
And all he wants to do is eat this mermaid, right? Who spends an inordinate amount of time on land, P.S. Lives in a sandcastle.
A land mermaid.
A land mermaid. The only problem is the land mermaid has a big, strong boyfriend of a shark who always comes to her rescue. She's a little... I'm not saying she's a two-dimensional character, but she often doesn't realize when she's about to be consumed.
That sounds like an old-timey cartoon right there.
It really, I mean, it pretty much is. And then they put, a modern spin on it. Like, the only way they ever get anything on this island is invariably, like, a cargo plane goes over and the guy flying the plane spills coffee on the controls and then suddenly releases like 1 million bouncy balls onto their island. and then you have an episode idea.
There you go.
Yeah, it's something.
They really ought to fire that pilot. It sounds like this is a recurring problem that he has.
Yeah, well, and it's true. And then there's another pilot who actually lives on the island. It looks like he's crashed this plane into a tree. And, like, subsequently over the years of being stranded on this island, has just devolved into a sort of man-ape.
Okay.
Like, he doesn't speak. He's entertained by very simple things.
So, logistically speaking here.
Yes.
A mermaid and a shark.
Yeah, right.
Like, how do they, doink it out?
That's a great question that I think can only be answered by one thing, Nathan.
What?
Sushi jackknife.
Sushi jackknife.
That's what would happen.
Yeah.
Like, he would end up as sushi, I think.
I mean, possibly. I really
He
don't
also
know.
spends he spends a really long time on land for a shark. Just saying.
Some sort of biologist for